Welcome back to the channel. We're at Pembroke Country Club in Pembroke, Massachusetts. We're on the white tees in the front nine. First hole is a par 5, 500 yards. We are playing in the Thursday Night League, and all this will benefit a charity here, Pediatric Cancer Research. See my handicap, course handicap, and quota. Remember, this is grinding a cure, and we start off with a nice, sweet heel banger.
Base! Cheap base! Oh, base!
all right. So we're right of the cart path. Almost behind a tree. I have a little window here. I'm going to carve a 7-iron, kind of punch it. Can maybe advance it 130 yards. I hit this just the way I wanted to. It was cutting, which I thought was great. And as you'll see in a second, it cut too much. So I wound up in the right-hand rough. So you have a pitching wedge from 142 yards. Normally, I'd hit more like a 9-iron, especially since it's a front pin. But this ball felt like it was going to jump out of that rough. And it sure did. Just kept flying. Fortunately, it caught the back edge, so it's right on the back fringe. So it probably flew about 155, 160. Now I got a very long putt coming back. You'll see the yellow ball on the green. That's my buddy Jeremy. You'll see that throughout the video. You can see, though, I have probably about 55, 60 feet. That's for the birdie, so $5 for charity. And I thought I hit this way too hard. And then I thought this was going in. Oh, it was so close, so close. Very lucky there to get the speed right on that first hole. Now I just have a simple little 2-footer to clean up for par. And we'll call that an up and down. It was on the fringe, so it wasn't on the green. So we'll put $1 in the charity. And next hole, short little par 4. I'm just trying to hit a 3-wood out there, hoping to have somewhere around 90 yards left or so. This one I did not hit great. Little cutty, little spinny, but pretty much down the middle, just a little right, and it winds up in where the fairway pinches, so it winds up in the rough next to the bunker. I do have about 125 yards left, so I'm using my attack wedge. That's what the A wedge stands for, AW, and you see that pin is just over the left-hand corner of the trap. Caught that one a little bit thin, so I'm yelling at it to spin. It had enough spin on it to hold the back edge, fortunately. Didn't run all the way through into the rough. So now I have another long attempt for birdie. And this one doesn't make anywhere near a close call on it, but it's only about 3 feet away. I thought it was going to be at least 6 feet. There was a little bit of slope, a little bit of movement in this putt, a little right to left. So I was taking my time over it. I probably should have entered more. Aimed a little more right center because that scared me, but it does go in. And that's another up and down for another $1 that was on the fringe. So put another $1 on the charity. The third hole is par 3, 139. We're playing the red tee. That's the league rule. They want you to play the red tee for the closest to the pin. So just hitting a pitching wedge here. I was hoping to hit the back slope because this pin was on the front. Didn't quite get to the back slope, but it hit about pin high and spun a little. And you'll see this is actually 15 feet 6 inches. It turned out to be the closest to the pin for the night. So we'll take that and we'll donate that to the charity, which would be great. Birdie would have been sweet too. Unfortunately missed that, missed it on the high side. And we'll clean up here for par and another 2 points towards our quota. Fourth hole, long par 4 uphill, 434. You can see I'm trying to hit a good drive here. And another heel banger.
Base! Cheap base! Oh, base!
Just another one. I hate doing that. I gotta say the QI10 though, it still gets me out there. So I'm probably out here 240, 250. So still got 180. You know, I was hoping to be more like 160 in, but taking a 7-iron, normally I'd hit that from about 170. Just felt like the ball was flying better. Maybe I'm compressing it better. Whatever it was, but 170 was a great number. Hit just on the front and released a little bit. And you'll see I have somewhere around 20 feet left for birdie. I think the 6-iron probably would have pitched near pin high and shot off the back of the green. So this was definitely the right club. And I hit this a little too hard, gave it a run. So we're going to have about 4 or 5 feet coming back. It's for par for another 2 points, and we convert. All right, moving on to the fifth hole, the par 4, 402. You can see I am aiming over the water. This is really more like a 370-yard hole. You know, we're cutting 30, 40 yards off. And I hit a good one here. Finally, not out of the heel. I was asking for it to get down because it can shoot through. You can see I probably had 3 or 4 more yards till I was in the rough on that line. But now I just have a simple little wedge hitting my 52. This is from what, 107 here. So that's a little, 52 is more like a 110, 115 for me. So I don't want to hit this too hard. And usually when you get those thoughts, you pull it a little, which I did. And like I said, the ball was flying. It was hitting everything a little bit longer. It was definitely humid. It was warmer, finally. So the ball was jumping. So here I am, long left in the rough, kind of dead here. Everything's running away from me. It's downhill. I'm just trying to land this on and have it kind of trickle out. But I also don't want to dump it in front of me and leave another chip or putt from above the hole. So although I carried that way too far, I'm not too unhappy with it. The contact was clean.
Yeah, I had no spin.
And you'll see I have probably about 12 feet here, maybe 15 feet. It's up the hill, right to left. And that just doesn't come down. Never hit it hard enough. That's all right, though. We'll tap in for bogey and another point here. And move on to the 6th hole, par 4, 346, another short one. Driver's really not really the play here, but I just hit a good one. And I want to keep hitting it as much as I can. The woods in the back are 280, so that gives me comfort. Knowing if I really smoke one, it's not going to get back there. Having said that, I hit this one. I really thought I finally caught the center of the face, so I was worried it might push through here. But the rough did what it needed to do for me, and it held on here. Another, 8, 9 yards. I'm in the woods behind me there to my left, and I'm dropping or re-teeing here. So now all I have is 80 yards, hitting my 60 degree. And unfortunately, I hit about an inch behind that. Only advanced it maybe 60 yards, somewhere around there.
Wrong idea.
So what was should have been a kind of a birdie hole, at least, get on the green 2-putt kind of par hole, is now turning into a struggle for an up and down. And I don't catch that very clean either. So I have a long putt here for par. And great line, but way too much speed. So I'll have a comebacker. I think it's about 5 feet for bogey. And that one lips out, so I can't even get a point. So no points on that hole. All right, 7th hole, par 3, 142 yards. I'm hitting my 9-iron. It's a little bit back into the wind, so I'm playing it more like 150. This one came off just a little right of the flag. And guys, this turns out to be about a 30-foot result, 30 feet to the pin. And that was closest to the pin. Couldn't believe it. And of course, I broke the tape measure in the process.
There's a cliff.
And pretty much felt like an idiot, like Tommy Boy there. All right, next hole, we're going down the hill. You can see there's ponds on the right, pond on the left. There's also puddles in the middle of the fairway. You can probably see those. They had some rain the last night. So I go left of all that, hit another good drive.
All that puddle and all that crap.
And this hole, like I said, it's not 420. On that line, probably 370, 380. So now all I have left is that, 111 or so. Hitting my 52 degree. This is a much more comfortable number. And this one winds up pretty good.
Come on. Spin a lot.
It hits and spins back a little bit, and I have an uphill putt.
Oh, it's spun back, didn't it?
And I hit play when we finished. You record at the wrong time. Yeah, I'm on fire right now. On fire with the camera work. Amazing. All right, so hole 9. Par 4, 346. There's water pinching in on the sides, but really where I'm aiming, where I'm hitting to, 260, 270 area with driver, landing area, not a problem. Not a problem. Those, that's a 40-yard wide area. You'd have to, I think, to clear the water, take that out of play is maybe 220, so it's not a big deal. Now we got 77 yards up the hill. I'm hitting my 56 instead of my 60. I like to do that off the fairway, but I hit like a full 56 number. Caught a little thin there. Not great contact. So I'm over the green. Probably flew that 90 yards, 95 yards. Have the same club now. I'm pitching it down the hill here. When this came off, I thought it was really good, but it just kept going. Just kept trickling out. Probably just 8, 9 feet, something like that.
Uphill.
Now this par putt's worth 2 points. At this point, my quota, I have about 12 of the 14 that I need. I'm hoping to make this to meet the quota.
Uphill.
Yeah, because you saw how much mine trickled out.
Yeah.
I think it trickled pretty straight.
And
Yeah, I was
you
favoring
see, I
the
took
right.
a little bit of time. I put the little marker on there. Kind of hard to see the hole on this. But I thought this was right to left, and it maybe moved left to right or just hung out right. So poor putt, poor read. But we'll finish with a bogey and a point. And we've raised, you'll see here in a second. So final quota of 13 out of 14. We raised, between the two videos now, $13 plus 2 closest to the pins, plus a first place team on the random draw. So I'll see how much those closest to the pins are worth. We'll add it all to the total. We'll make a donation at the end of the month. We'll do this month by month. Please like, please subscribe. It all benefits pediatric cancer research. I appreciate it. Have a good one.